Just like tell it like it is. I don't care if it hurts, but don't try to put some shimmer over it and be something you're not, because it's annoying, makes me want to punch you. Hi, I'm Michelle Rodriguez, and today I'm going to let Elle ask me anything. Vulgar, unfiltered, crazy. My first job, I believe that was working at Toys R Us. You know, when they overhire people during Christmas and stuff. And I remember losing my job because I kept using the skateboard to skateboard through the aisles. I tried to use the excuse I was just showing the toys to the kids, but they didn't buy it. Ooh, God, I was such a knucklehead. My God, I don't think I stopped being a knucklehead till I was like 35. It took me a long time to grow up. I would say, don't open your heart so easily and stop believing everything that people say. That's tough, because when it comes to nature, I'd say LA. But New York is more for the people. Like, I love the melting pot of a city. I love the ethnicities, I love the different foods and the reality of being in the struggle or the hustle that New York brings. It makes everybody real, it makes them raw, and then there's no facade. I just like people who keep it real. Just like tell it like it is. I don't care if it hurts, but don't try to put some shimmer over it and be something you're not, because it's annoying, makes me want to punch you. I'd probably say the car I bought, the M3, and I was slightly silly, because when I crashed it for the first time, you know, in Los Angeles, California, when you move from New York to Los Angeles, you have 3 crashes that need to happen before you can call yourself a Los Angeles driver. I mean, for anybody in their 20s, this is standard. And when I crashed my M3, it was supposed to be totaled, but I decided to fix it because it was my first luxury car. Meanwhile, all my buddies are like, it's ruined, you can't, the resale value is ruined because it's supposed to be totaled, but you decided to fix it. So I ended up spending more on that car than I should have, and I gotta say, it wasn't the smartest choice. That I have a big affinity for musicals, like Cabaret, West Side Story, Chicago, and I love Croner music. And I'm a big fan of people like Eartha Kitt, Ella Fitzgerald, Nina Simone. Like, that's my relaxed vibes. There is one of the Fast films, I think it was Fast 6, where the Dominic Toretto character played by Vin Diesel is flying across the highway to link up with the Letty Ortiz character, who she's launched from a moving tank into midair, and he's launched from his moving car into midair, and he catches in her midair. And from one side of the highway to the other with this massive gap that you can fall, you know, thousands of feet to the ground. And then they land on a car. That was the gnarliest stunt, because even though we did it with green screen, you had these lines that you hang off of, and the lines fly you at least 25 miles an hour. It's really cool. The stunt doubles did it even faster, but we had to get on those rigs and kind of fly towards each other, and so that we could do the catch sequence so they could recreate it in CGI. And that was fantastic. I think it was LL Cool J when we were doing SWAT. It was about when you're being offered things, it was the idea of saying yes to everything and figuring it out afterwards. But I do recall a lot of what he said making sense later in life, because I didn't get it at that moment, but then years later I'm like, that's what he meant. And it was just all about the disposition that one has when they're in the game and the flow opens. How you keep the flow open and how you keep the abundance coming. And it was all about saying yes to life. Hero. You know, a hero anti-villain, like a hero that's not really a hero, an unexpected hero, perhaps. Because there's a rebel side to me that never walks straight. I'm always like crooked. I kind of cradle the line between society and then the borders of it. Because I do believe in the common idea of good, but I don't believe in the common idea of how to get there. Well, I'm deep into occult mysticism. The history of religions around the world fascinates me. Also spirituality in different countries. Right now I'm obsessed with Toltec mysticism. and the spirituality coming from Mexico. And I can't believe all the similarities we find in occult mysticism from the Toltec ancients, the Aztecs, and the Mayans, comparing it to a lot of the European Christian mysticism. I realize the more similar the cultures around the world are than different. I like Trudy Chacon from Avatar, man. She was really cool. I think in another life I would have been in the military somehow. There's a certain excitement about it. I don't know why I glorified it so much growing up, but I always loved the agents and the Secret Service and the military special ops. I've always had an affinity towards what they do for a living. I gotta say it was a lot harder because I had to gain 15 pounds of muscle. I think it was more closely related to Girl Fight than anything, because when I first got into the game with the first movie I did, which was Girl Fight about 23 years ago, I had gained about a good 20 pounds of muscle for that. I trained for like 3 months of hardcore weight training to do that, and boxing. And for Holga, I did about the same amount of 3 months of training, hardcore, with weights and everything and protein shakes and all of that. To maintain that weight, it takes a lot of eating. I'm a little worn out and I'm having a hard time shedding it, man. It's tougher as you get older. That's all I gotta say about that. Thanks for hanging out with me and Elle. Go see the movie. Ciao.